What's up YouTube, welcome back to Nate's Tech and Talk. I'm back in my own Zeekr 7X and I thought today I'd do a review or my opinion on the ADAS systems included in the Zeekr 7X. So I know I had a lot of you guys asking what I think of it and if I could do a video of it. So here we are, let's go through the ADAS systems in the Zeekr 7X. Now this is the Australian version of the 7X, so unfortunately we don't have the full LiDAR system that Chinese markets have. So yeah, we have lost the LiDAR systems. We do have what's called a Mobileye system. It is heavily camera based. So the 7X does come with 12 high-def cameras, 12 ultrasonic radars and 1mm wave radar. There is 15 ADAS functions available in the 7X. That includes things like adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, front and rear cross traffic alerts, as well as your parking assist and lane keeping assist systems as well. So I will just show you how to toggle those systems on or off depending on your personal preference. So let's go to the center control screen. If you go to Zeekr AD and then driving assist, you'll find all these driving assist functions here. So you've got lane keep assist. If you press the play button there, it'll show you what it's referring to. So just obviously keeping yourself in the lane, and then yeah, sound vibration, and if you want that off you can do that as well. Lane centering control, so when you do have LCC on, auto lane change, so basically once I put the blinker on it will automatically change lanes for me. I do have to keep my hand on the steering wheel, but it will automatically move the steering wheel to the right position and change lanes. Also, once I turn the blinker on, it will automatically turn the blinker off for me as well. Collision mitigation support, so that's just basically forward collision mitigation. It'll actually brake for you, and so it will apply the brakes. You can have later, moderate and earlier warnings, so depending on how early you like it. I always set it to later, but when you start the car again, it automatically, I'm pretty sure it automatically goes to the earlier setting. And then you've got rear collision mitigation and rear cross traffic alert and assist. So you'll look at your rear and see if there's a car there and it will tell you. And then low speed emergency braking, so that's basically yeah, if you're at a low speed it will brake for you. That is a talking point in the forums, because there is a phantom braking if you're going down a steep driveway, pretty much like that one there. If you go down that pretty quickly, it will do a phantom braking where it just brakes out of nowhere for no reason other than because I think the cameras can, you know, see the steep ground, and then it automatically thinks there's something there, so it will brake. It is quite uncomfortable when that happens. So that's probably something Zeekr can fix, I think, where to stop the phantom braking when reversing down a steep driveway. Like I have heard it is common on other vehicles as well. And then door open warning, so obviously when you're opening the door and there's incoming cars, it'll give you a warning and it won't actually allow the door to automatically open, which is nice. And then obviously blind spot assist, so yeah, it'll look at your blind spots and then give you either a light or a light and sound. No camera or visual comes up in the instrument cluster or heads up display. That should hopefully come in future updates, I reckon, as I know I was just in an EV5 and that has that. And then parking assist, and yeah, if you haven't seen my parking video using the automatic parking functions within the 7X, go have a look at that now. But yeah, you can adjust the parking sensor volumes. I've always got it on low, but it's still pretty sensitive in low. And then obviously activating that auto parking assist in drive or reverse gear. So those are the settings there that you can adjust for under Zeekr AD for any of the autonomous driving settings. So when would I use the adaptive cruise control and lane centering control? I pretty much only use it specifically on freeways when it's a long drive and I know that I'll be staying on the freeway and don't have to exit anytime soon. So I do get asked quite a lot, does it have full supervised driving like the Teslas? No, it doesn't, and definitely not to that extent. If you do want the car to drive itself through the streets around roundabouts, then I would highly recommend buying a Tesla instead of the 7X. But if you don't need the car to drive itself and you actually want to drive the car and accelerate when you want to accelerate and turn when you want to turn, I'd say definitely look at other options than the Tesla, such as this 7X. So when in adaptive cruise control and lane centering control on the freeways, it is quite a good experience. To enter the adaptive cruise control, we'll do a one flick down on the right stalk, and then to enter both adaptive cruise control and lane centering control, we will activate it by going down twice on the right stalk. Once you've got the adaptive cruise control and lane centering control on, you'll see the steering wheel and lanes be blue in the heads-up display. You'll be able to use the left scroll on the steering wheel, so a quick tap will be 5 kilometers increases in the speed limit that you want to cruise at, and then a hold up or down will be 1 kilometer increments in the change of speed. So a hold is 1 kilometer and quick taps would be 5 kilometers. And then also to change the length between the car in front of you and your 7X, you'll be able to use the left and right on the left side of the steering wheel. So there is 3 settings currently. There's a 1, 2 and 3, with 1 being the shortest length between yourself and the car in front of you. I always set mine on 1, and I think hopefully in future updates they can decrease the length even further, so that you are a little bit closer to the car in front of you, because I still think that it's a very long distance between the car in front of you, even on the shortest settings. So I don't want to be right up someone's backside of their car, but I would like to be a little bit closer, so then there's not a lot of room for people in the opposite lane to come in and come right in front of me, because then the car will obviously brake to the length that it needs to. If that distance can be shortened on the lowest setting, I know a lot of owners have actually told me they want that as well. So yeah, Zeekr, if you're watching, that would be another improvement to add in future updates. And then once you've set that, basically you just need to have your hand on the steering wheel. So I like to keep it in the bottom left, quite firm, and the car will steer for me and keep it in the lane itself. Now, if I wanted to go to the next lane, it does have automatic lane change assist. So if I was to pop that blinker on, it would go into the next lane, so it'd actually start blinking for me. And then, even though I've got the hand on the steering wheel, I don't need to move the steering wheel at all. It will do it itself, and it will go into the next lane. The way you'll know that it will let you go into the next lane is if you look at that steering wheel, it will have an arrow on either side of the steering wheel to tell you if it can go into either lane on your left or right. So yeah, if there's an arrow on the right side of the steering wheel, then I could pop the blinker on to go to the right, and after maybe a couple of seconds, it will start to merge into the next lane. I'd say roughly a 60 to 70% accuracy. So look, majority of the time I think it's pretty good. It just sometimes it picks up maybe a lane being solid when it's not, or maybe that there's an object or a car there when there's nothing around me. So I do know that there's updates coming in the 2.1 Europe update for ADAS and its systems being improved. So hopefully that 60-70% will increase in the accuracy. But for now, it's sort of around that 60 to 70% where, yeah, I can't do a lane change and there's sort of no one around me and there's no objects. So, but for the most part, I think it's good. Anyway, will stop blinking as well. So it will finish the blinking and then it basically cruises along in the center of the lane, in that lane that you've merged into. I have tried putting on the blinker when there is a car on the left of me. So if I was going into the left lane and there was a car coming, I have tried to put the blinker on and then it said it wouldn't be able to, and then it just comes up sort of with a red line to say that you can't get into the lane. Now, once that car does pass, it does sort of update after a little while that it can go into the next lane. So obviously that whole time you need to keep, like, your blinker stays on, and then it sort of, that car does go in front of you, and the systems can't see it anymore on your left side, then you'll be able to get into that lane. It just takes a couple of seconds before it lets you get into that next lane. You can see in the instrument cluster the blind spot monitoring, so you can't see the actual blind spot visual, unfortunately, but you can see sort of a line, that an orange line or red line that comes up behind the car within your instrument cluster, just to show that there's a car coming on either side of rear of the vehicle. So you can see that coming up to the lights. You'll be able to see crossings, pedestrians crossing it, as well as cars with their indicators on as well, which I think is a nice touch to see. Just that little bit of extra information in the instrument cluster is really good. A couple of other owners have said to me that when in lane centering control, the car does tend to sway left to right to stay in the lane, and it can be quite touchy either side of the lane. So to be honest, I haven't felt that way. I think it does sort of keep it in the middle, and you're not going from side to side or swaying in the car. But yeah, some owners have said that they have felt that way. I do know that when you go around a tight corner, some owners have said that it just basically cuts off and isn't able to make it around the corner. So it has happened once to me where it was a very sharp corner, able to go around the corner a little bit, but then basically cut off, and I had to take control of the steering wheel and turn. So yeah, basically if it's a very tight corner, I don't think it'll be able to make it when going at maybe high speeds and keeping within that cruise control and lane centering control. So do watch out if you are at high speeds on a freeway and it's a very tight turn. Just obviously you already have your hand on the steering wheel, of course, but just make sure to do that, yeah, just in case it cuts off. But only happened once or twice for me. I have noticed that when cruising on the freeway and there is an emergency lane, so in Australia on the freeways, that would be on our left side. So when there is a car in that emergency lane, usually on a freeway, and you're going 100, the car actually sort of slows down. So it's actually gone to roughly 90 kilometers or even 85 when there's a car parked in the emergency lane. It slows down, which I'm not fussed about. Like, I mean, it is extra safe. If there's a police car, we have to go 40 kilometers. But you know, if there is a car there, if it's not a police car and it's just a car maybe broken down or something, I do think that is good safety reasons to slow down. It just, yeah, when it first did it, I was like, what's happening? But yeah, as long as owners know, Zeekr 7X owners know that if there is a car in the emergency lane, the car will start to brake when on cruise control. I guess it's just added safety, and I think that is a good feature to have. Obviously hoping no one from the emergency lane opens a door or something into a lane on the freeway. But yeah, it is good that the 7X does that. To exit the adaptive cruise control and lane centering control, at the start of my ownership journey, I was actually just using the brake pedal to exit the cruise control, and basically all that does is jolt you back and the car automatically starts braking. Don't use the brake pedal. All you have to do is get the right indicator stalk and flick it up, and that will exit the adaptive cruise control and lane centering control. I actually put my foot on the pedal before I put up the right indicator stalk, and that's pretty seamless. It does give you a bit of audio notification to tell you that LCC and ACC has been switched off, but other than that, it's pretty seamless, and then you can just continue to drive as normal with no systems in play. Overall, I think the ADAS systems within the 7X work well for the most part. I think there is a lot of room for improvement, so such as, you know, that, as I said before, the phantom braking when reversing down a steep hill and driveway, and obviously not having that happen in the future would be nice. Also the improved accuracy when changing lanes, so that automatic lane changing, allowing you to change lanes when there's no cars around and when it's not a solid line. So yeah, hopefully the accuracy can be improved there in future OTA updates. But look, overall I think they work well for what majority of Australians need. It's not going to be the FSD that you see in Tesla, but I think it works well, provides extra safety, and hopefully, yeah, there's improvements to come. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is the ADAS systems and its functionality something that would change your mind on buying the 7X or another alternative? Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in future videos. Make sure to like and comment and subscribe. Thanks guys.